Good morning, everybody. Men, women, children, dogs, cats, ferrets. Can't think of anything else off the top of my head. Squirrels. Squirrels. We have a lot of squirrels and bunnies. It's your friendly ladder admins here once again, giving you a season announcement. I am Big Dunka here with resident giraffe Herfy. How you doing, man?
Hello, fellow gamers. I couldn't help. I needed to say that.
Yeah.
I'm doing all right. How's it going with you? I'm super excited for this one.
I have
no idea. But
yeah.
I'm very excited.
I'm excited. I'm nervous. We were just talking about this. This is the first time doing an announcement that I'm a little nervous right now. There's a reason. We'll get to that here in a few. So. This is a good one. This is what I'm looking forward to, and I've got a nice bottle or glass of wine to my side here, and doing a little morning drinking because why not?
Sure.
And we'll just to give everybody that's in chat an idea. And hello, everybody. Say hi. Wave. Hello. Today we'll be going over new schedule. 2 new modes, and I think this is the first time in a long time we've done 2 modes, 2 brand new modes in the same season. I can't remember the last time we did this. And then we got some grab bag stuff and some mystery changes, and that's usually when people tune out, but hey, whatever. And then we'll do a little Q&A in the end of it. If people want to drop some questions in chat, we'll address those then. I did not put out a Q&A little questionnaire this time around, and I just kind of forgot to do that. So hope everyone's ready, and I guess we can just go ahead and get this party started, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right, we have a schedule. Yay! Schedules are fun. All right, place your bets. What's it gonna be? Anybody?
What could it be?
What could it be? What could the very first race of the season be? It's casual boots. We're gonna not do open to start this one. I try to mix and match these things a little bit.
Already crazy.
Yeah, I know. Everything's already out of whack. So we often do this. We switch things around for good reasons. And this time it's just because I felt like switching things around. So casual boots is going to lead us off. Followed right behind with mystery, which once again we will go over the mystery changes here at the end of the announcement. It is the last thing on our agenda for today. So we've got that. Oh, and now the next one, because if I'm not mistaken, this is a new one. Chat, are you guys excited? I know there's people in chat and they're not talking. No one's talking in chat. You know what? I'm not even gonna click the button again until somebody says something in chat. I don't care what it is. Somebody has to say something.
Oh boy.
Just to make sure that people are there, just to make sure the stream's working right. Something! Yay! Okay, thank you. Okay, good. Thank you. Appreciate that. Next mode on the agenda is our patron party. So a certain amount of people know what this is already because they had a big hand in it. This one is a mode that was voted on by our ladder patrons. We do occasionally like to throw them a bone or two here and there, and let them interact in ways that not everybody gets to do. So I'm still not 100% sure on the name, but I sure shit couldn't come up with a better one. So that's going to be our name for this mode. We will go over the details on this one here shortly. Cross keys coming up next. Of course, cross keys is cross keys. Everybody knows about cross keys. Open, slipping into the 5 slot. It's always going to be there unless we have another open mode to take its place. Which means next on the list has got to be grab bag, because grab bag is a nice little staple. We have a nice fun thing planned for grab bag here later in the in the announcement. I hope everybody enjoys it. And now, it's like I don't even want to hit the button. It's like I don't even want to hit the button. Because I know what's going to happen. It's people are going to know what it is just by the name. And this is the one that I'm concerned about.
I mean, we've talked about this since yesterday or 2 days ago or something.
Yeah.
And I think we're kind of on opposite ends of the spectrum of what we're expecting. And I'm definitely curious.
You're expecting hatred. I'm expecting paperwork. Yeah. Like, I think it's just going to be a paperwork disaster. Mm-hmm. Hundo Key Sanity. And yes, you can probably, if you guess, you can probably figure out what it is by the name. We will go over the specifics with a very, very special rule set, which we will review. But yes, this is the one that terrifies me, keeps me up at night, and
that's the guy who came up with it, by the way.
Well, I mean, we talked about it before. This is a mode that we have talked about before, that we've thought about doing, and we've thought about doing something like this. And yeah, so there's some special shit that comes with this one. So we'll go over it here in a minute, but that is our schedule for season 19. The schedule is currently live on the website. I just posted it. If you do check it out, you'll notice there is an extra day between the end of the season and the start of the new one. We will explain why later. But there's an extended break between season 18 and 19. Let's go over the two new modes, ladies and gentlemen. So we have two new modes again that we just talked about. The first one is Patron Party. So we did basically the same thing we did with Potpourri. If you guys were here for season 7 when we did Potpourri, we did the exact same method of voting with a little twist at the end, but it ended up not mattering. So, but yeah, this was voted on by our ladder patrons. So big thanks to them. They help us do things here that we would not normally be able to do, especially with the invitationals. So, big props to them. They do help us out a lot. And so in this case, we decided to give something back to them, and they did some voting on some modes. But yeah, we gave them one flag at a time, and allowed them to vote, and they made us a mode, and here we go. This is what they came up with. We also did give them a chance to correct it at the end, and if you actually listen to this last week's Dante's Go Mode podcast where I was on, we actually briefly talked about this, and it was hilarious that we gave everybody a chance to correct a mode where it's like these two things don't go together, and it was almost a perfect pizza in voting. It's like one piece, like it's like the amount of people that voted was almost perfectly even across 8 different people or 8 different things they wanted to change. It was almost perfect. It was one vote in one category over another, and it would have been a perfect piece of pizza. This is why we don't let people like influence our judgment on modes these days. But all right, so let's go over the details. And if you want to watch people immediately just tune out and walk away, the mode is inverted, ladies and gentlemen. They voted on this. It wasn't us.
Yeah, we have nothing to do with it.
We had literally nothing to do with this. We did not cast a single vote between us. At least I didn't. I guess you could have. I doubt you did.
I also did not. Nope.
Yeah, I doubt you did, but I didn't. Don't immediately walk away from this, because the rest of the mode is actually very interesting. And maybe inverted is not a bad thing in this scenario. We'll see. It's a Ganon Hunt. It's a Ganon Hunt seed. Now, we have not done a Ganon Hunt seed yet. This is one of the newer flags that was added. Maybe 3-4 months ago is when this went in, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
It's been a little bit, but I haven't played one of these yet. In fact, I haven't even tested the flags for these modes. I think they work, but I honestly don't know. Ganon Hunt, for those that are not aware, is instead of having a crystal requirement for killing Ganon, in this case, you have to pick up Triforce chips. So it's similar to a Triforce Hunt. In this case, it is the default, which is 40 of 50, so you're going to have to do a lot of killing. But the crystal count does not matter for the Ganon Vuln. Once you have 40, it's fast Ganon as well, so the hole's always going to be there. So if you just find 40 immediately, and you have the items, you got a couple of swords and a fire source, you can immediately drop down the hole and go for the kill. You do not need to do anything with crystal counts for the Ganon Vuln, and it is fast Ganon. So, going to be interesting. Again, I have not done one of these, so I don't exactly know how they go. That being said, it is full key sanity, so be prepared to do a lot of shit. There will be some clears. These are not going to be 1 hour clears, and if they are, then I'd be shocked. So yes, you'll have to find some keys. You also have a little wrinkle. I don't know how I feel about this one. Maybe it's good because you might be able to skip bosses because crystals are not necessarily important. But that being said, you could always have to do like a GT climb and find a surprise Trinex.
Yeah, so, I was just going to say, whenever I see this, I'm immediately thinking surprise Trinex, and, that's always the big trade-off for this one.
That being said, it is still 1,000 times better than Enemy Shuffle.
Oh, yeah.
Just despise Enemy Shuffle with a passion. God, I hate it so much. We do have random swords. That's just another mode. Do you remember? I mean, you're going to be doing a lot of clears. This is going to be a high clear count mode. So, but do you remember when I said that crystals don't matter? Remember I said that just a little bit ago? Crystals really don't matter. This is the flag that is going to throw things into a tizzy. Is that GT is going to be open from the start. Which means you might be double dipping GT. You might be triple dipping GT. So, yeah, that's the one that is gonna, that's the one that I look at this and I'm like, that's weird. And that one's gonna throw things off. Like, this is gonna be, I'm torn on this. Like, do you put it off until you have at least like hammer or hook or cane or something, or you just say, screw it, I'm going in, checking 3 or 4, and I'm leaving? Oh, I got the GT key early. Do I climb?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be the decisions, right?
Good luck. But we are going to help you. We are going to help you out. We're going to help you out with some starting items. And you get 3.5 starting items. 3.5. Not 4, but 3.5. Because we did the same thing as last time. It's like we allowed people to vote for boots, but if you voted for boots, you had to take multiple votes to do it. And once again, people declined to do it. So, being the generous lords that we are, we threw them a bone. So you get an activated flute to start. You get a hookshot to start. You get a glove to start. And we're going to give you pseudo boots. I know some people don't like pseudo boots, but what are you going to... You know what? At least you get to go fast. And you'll forget about it until you bonk the first time, and you get that weird-ass bonk animation, and they'd be like, oh, that's right. It's pseudo boots. So... ladies and gentlemen, that is your mode for Season 19. Thanks again to our ladder patrons on this one. Herfy, what do you think? This is I'll say this, if nothing else, is going to be interesting. I don't know if people are going to like it, but it sure is going to be interesting.
Oh yeah, I think it's super interesting. I don't think I could have come up with this mode, if I sat down and thought about it.
No.
I think this is what happens when you let people vote on stuff.
This is exactly what happens.
One thing at a time.
That is exactly what happens when you let people vote. Yeah, I'm pouring another glass of wine for this one. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting. Potpourri actually, when we originally did Potpourri back in season 7, it was originally called season 7 Potpourri for a reason. Is that we had the thought concept of doing it again, like 3-4 seasons later, and then calling it like season 10 Potpourri. We just never got around to it. And then silently we dropped the season 7 and it just became Potpourri. And people kind of like it. Like, Potpourri is not a mode that people hate. People actually do like talking about it from time to time. And this is basically the same thing. The problem here is we got to keep coming up with names for modes. And it's tough. So, the one thing I see about this, though, that makes it super interesting is the activated flute with inverted. Mm-hmm. Because that opens up a big can of worms at the very beginning, because it opens up the mire area. It opens up Death Mountain, which it's inverted. Death Mountain is always in play, which means you need to know how to do 3 heart, get to Bunny Cave inverted. There's
really a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Right, with all the starting items, you've got pretty much all the like traversal items, I want to call them. You've got the flute, you've got your hookshot, you've got pseudo boots. Okay, it's not real boots, but still you're going fast. And then you got the power glove, which opens up a lot of stuff in the dark world as well, right? If you're starting in inverted, so
yeah, and of course with power glove, all you have to do is just you're one item closer to getting your light world access, which opens up the entire world in inverted. So I like the choice of items. I think they chose really well with the items. So, yeah, that is going to be your mode. That is Patron Party. Hope people enjoy it. Now, I pulled another glass of wine for a reason. Hundo Key Sanity. Let's go over the rules on this thing. Of course, you can read. I hope you can read. So, Hundo Key Sanity is a full 100% locations 216 of 216 required race. I need to stress this, and we need to be 100% clear with this, because we're doing something with this mode we've never done before, which puts responsibility on the racers, because we cannot control somebody finishing the race without doing 216 of 216. But if you race this mode, you need to be 100% aware. If you do not do 216 of 216, we will disqualify you. It is hard required to go all the way to the end of the credits to show the clear counts, because we need a way to verify it. Now, technically, it's in the rules anyway, and I know people don't always follow it, and you know who you are. So there's a couple of things here. And for the mode itself, it's actually quite simple. It's just open AD full key sanity with 100% locations logic. That's the mode. It's very simple. There's not much to it. It's effectively AD keys. That's the mode. It's effectively what it is, except it's 100% locations. And again, for those that are not aware, there are 2 modes here. There's 100% locations, and there's 100% inventory. 100% inventory means keys can be locked behind themselves. This is the small key is in the big chest in Thieves Town. That will not happen with 100% locations. You have ways of getting 216 items in this race. It's in this case, it's a hard requirement. So, again, there are 2 big things this opens up. Number 1, when you finish, if you finish first and you go through the credits, oh boy, I'm gonna back up a second here, because I need to I need to be clear. There are 2 big issues with this. Number 1, just finishing before doing 216, not realizing that you need to do 216. We will disqualify you for this. And we are going to do basically 2 levels of disqualifications. The very first time that you do this, we will disqualify you, and we will give you a warning. The warning will be very clear. Do not do this again, and if you do, we will suspend you. And we've been... Boy, this is why I'm nervous about this, because I'm trying to word this in a way not to be super strict about it, but to be clear of how we're going to handle this. If you do it not understanding the mode, we will warn you. And then if you do it a second time, we will suspend you from ladder. And we were talking about doing like 30-day suspensions. You gotta follow the rules on this one. This is kind of a test case if we can go forward with other types of modes like this, which there's a bunch of things we could do where we can't stop you from doing it, but if you don't do it, it's on you, and we will you'll get penalized for it.
Yeah, I think the problem that we're having, and correct me if I'm, projecting something wrong here, but the thing is this. We kind of will have to sort of decide it on a case-by-case basis.
Yes.
Because if you're going through the game and you purposely leave one or two items behind to save some time, we're going to have to punish you.
Yes.
But if you're playing and it happened once already and you got your warning, and then you're playing and you're at 215 out of 216 because you forgot to go back to a freestanding item at Zoral Edge or something.
Yes.
It wasn't malicious. You didn't intend to cheat the game or whatever. So it's going to have some wiggle room for us to decide. But at the same time, we don't want to give you the wiggle room to be like, oh, but, it's only my 12th time for getting through it.
Yeah, I think you nailed it there. There's two big things here. One, if you finish this type of seed with 170 clear count, we're going to disqualify you. And we're going to tell you, you did not read the rules. You did not understand what this is about. Don't do it again. If you accidentally then, a week later, finish with 215 because you forgot to open the big chest in GT, we're probably going to give you the benefit of the doubt. That being said, we don't want to do this because if you finish first, you're marked in the system as a win. And two things are going to happen here. One of two things, or both things could potentially happen. One, your opponent will finish 5 minutes later with a 216. At that moment, your opponent needs to confirm that you screwed up. Now, if you go through and you notice you have 215 and you do not check yourself on this and do not self-appeal or let us know so we can change it, we will 100% penalize you for that because that's just cheating.
Right.
But if it's the other way around and you tell your opponent, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I only did 215. I forgot an item somewhere. Let us know. Use the appeal system. We're expecting this. We will go in and we will fix it. I just don't want to have to do 5 of these a day because I go into the database and do it manually because it's easier for me. And Herfy doesn't have a way to do it. And then if it's after the race, then I have to go back and recalculate all the rankings. And it takes a little bit of time, and it's a pain in the ass. So just be mindful of this. Number 2, and this isn't even written in here because it just occurred to me as we're talking. And this goes out to the 100 or so people, maybe even more. I don't even know the count on this. Let's say you are one of those that gets pinged when your opponent beats you. And you forfeit. And your opponent didn't 216. Sorry, dude, that's on you. We can't go back and change a result. In fact, when I put the announcement out, I'm going to make an addendum to that. I'm going to make a note on that to be very mindful. If you get a ping that you have lost the race, you might not want to forfeit because if your opponent screws up, and you notice it, or he notices it and self-reports or whatever, then it's back on you. So this is why this mode makes me super nervous. So
yeah, there's a lot of weird edge cases like that. As Danka said, if you get pinged and then you forfeit, and then later it turns out your opponent didn't get all 216 items, that we can't give you the win.
Can't do it.
Retroactively.
We cannot do it. The moment you forfeit, regardless of situation, you are done. There is no undone system in ladder, and there won't be an undone system in ladder unless we completely change the structure. So just be aware of this. This is why again, I'm shaking. Like I'm like shaking when I'm talking about this, and I'm drinking my wine very fast. Because this terrifies us. This is terrifying. There's so many things we would like to do, like modes that we have discussed in the past. Like I brainstormed things to do, like with, I know people talk about the what's the mode you have to go through escape 10 times? Kiss the Priest. It's like it's a, you know, stuff like that. It's modes like that. We can't do those because you have to self-police. You know, those types of modes, there is self-policing involved. And we can't control that because it's just the two of us.
Right. And, you know,
it really is.
It's, of course, it's obviously correct for people to check stuff out and see if everything's all right, and then appeal if it isn't.
Right.
But once we start getting like 10 appeals a day, it's going to be like unworkable for everyone.
This, in fact, you mentioned that, and we haven't discussed this. What happens if this goes south, like within 2 weeks, and we're getting 5 appeals a day? I don't even know what we're gonna do. We might just scrap the idea mid-season and just put it as AD. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what we're gonna do.
Maybe we'll just leave it and like remove that mode out of the calculations.
I have no idea what we're gonna do. Hopefully, it's not gonna come to that. We're putting faith on you guys that it won't come to that. But yeah. So okay, those are our 2 modes, ladies and gentlemen. Boy, oh boy, the more I talk about it, I'm just terrified.
Well, I mean, now it's out in the open.
Now it's out there.
It's gonna be interesting.
Now it's out there. Right. We've been against this for so long. Hope you guys enjoy it. Please, please don't give us extra work. We 100% expect this to happen occasionally. Like, and I expect them to be honest. Like, I forgot to open the big chest in GT. That's going to be a huge one.
I would assume it's probably going to be worse at the start until people kind of get used to the idea of really having to, you know, kind of rework their muscle memory and open everything that they normally skip.
Yes.
But after a while, hopefully, people will settle into it.
And people
who enjoy the mode, and people who enjoy the mode will, you know, get it all worked out. So.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and actually, I was just going to mention it. Just got posted in chat. Compasses are going to be useful because when you're in GT and you open the last chest and you look up and you see 26 to 27, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Time to mirror. So.
I think my biggest problem, like in my head, are freestanding items because there's so many where you just like nudge them on the screen. You know, like
the library, lumberjack, the bumper cave item, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So yeah. And yeah, there could be some weird logic involved on this where you get a late, because it's full key sanity. So you could get like the desert key late, you get late boots to go back to do library after you finish, stuff like that. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, those are the modes. God damn. I'm just terrified. So yeah, we'll have the pings. The ping requests are in there right now. They're just not labeled. I'll have those updated here at the end of the thing when the announcement goes out. I'll also update the mode definitions. Again, we have placeholders in there. We'll get those updated. And if you have any questions, you can ask now. We'll see them in chat before the end of the presentation, or you can ask in the Discord, and we'll answer them there. So, Herfy, do you want to have some fun?
Sure.
Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun, ladies and gentlemen. You're gripping. This is okay. I'm actually looking forward to this. I'm going to have some fun here. So last season, this current season, so what we've done in the past is we choose some modes randomly, we put them in, then we choose the opposite modes. And then we did like this last season, which we did the tournament modes, and we've been going back and forth. And I threw this to you, 2 weeks ago maybe? It's like, what do you want to do for grab bag modes this year? Or for this season? And neither one of us, we just sitting there with a thumb up our butts. We have no idea what to do with grab bag. So we're going to bring in the hat.
Yeah. I mean, I really want to give you guys the full history of this. So Duncan threw this to me. He's like, hey, what are we doing with the grab bag mode? And I said, let me think about that for a day or two. So I did think about it for a day or two. And as he said, I came up with absolutely nothing. And he said, well, I mean, what can we really do? We could just pull names out of a hat, right?
Yep.
We could literally pull names out of a hat. And I said, yeah, sure, let's do that.
Yep.
And here we are.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to bring in the hat. So there are 21 modes in the hat, and we're going to choose 6 of them. Let's turn on the hat. Ladies and gentlemen, hello. Ooh, there's my hands. Yes, this is the hat. It's a Cubs hat. You know, so I'm a Cubs fan because I'm a... Oh, by the way, I have to move my mic. I hope you can still hear me okay.
I can hear you okay, but I will say
perfect.
I can't see the hat in the Discord share. I'm not sure.
Oh, you can't. That's right, because it's only on the stream. That's
well,
right.
I'll fire up the stream. That's no problem.
Yeah, so I'm going to mix them up, and I even pulled out one of my cat blankets, so it's probably covered in cat hair. And I'm going to cover it up while I do this. So, all right, let's do this. So I'm going to reach in here. I've got 6 modes, or there's 21 in here. Here's the first one. It is, MC Shuffle. That's lovely. MC Shuffle.
Yeah,
Everybody,
yeah.
like, people hate that mode. People hate that mode, especially when it's mixed in with... what was the Champions Hut mode?
Mm-hmm.
This Dante, I swear to God, it's the most bullshit excuse I've ever heard in my life. People don't like Swordless because it had MC. Shut up. All right, let's go to number 2. I'm going to move this a little bit because I'm a little off screen here. All right, number 2 is all inverted keys. You guys get 2 inverted modes this season.
Oh boy,
that's lovely.
All you know, I will say with the blanket over it and what we're seeing, if I didn't know this was a hat stream.
All right, yes, yeah, I'll get banned from Twitch for this. All right, number 3 is Ambrosia. Hey, the boy mode.
That's a pretty good one.
The boy mode. All right, let's do the next one. Is that a mode in your hat, or you just happen to see me? Number 4 is AD key. Oh, I should have taken this one out. You know what? I should have taken this one out. I didn't think of that. I should have taken that one out.
Is that one is that the what are they called? Is that one a redo?
No. The hat is law. The hat is law. So I should have taken that. I did take a couple of modes out. I did take out like inverted entrance. I did take that one out. There was 2 modes I removed. I can't remember what the other one is. I removed open key sanity. I want to remove that. I think I did. Maybe I didn't. I was going to. Did I remove it? I get the list here. Oh, I didn't. It's right there. It's still on the list. I want to remove that one completely from the pool for forever because I hate that mode with a passion. That's just personal preference. It's the worst mode in the world. All right. Next, we got 2 more to go. Let's see what the next one's going to be. I've got this one, and it is SGL Casual Boots.
Oh, I like this one.
That's a good mode. I actually like that mode. I think that's a fantastic mode. That was that was the mode that gave us open, hard open, open plus. There was a bunch of modes that came out of that. That I'll say this: out of all the SGL modes they've ever done, that is the best because it had the custom item pool that we've piggybacked off that one several times.
Yeah, I take full credit. I don't remember who actually came up with
You're gonna take the credit for that one,
credit.
Ladies and gentlemen. Give your thanks to the giraffe here. One more. What do you want? What do you want to see? What do you want to see?
I don't know, something crazy.
Something crazy. Retrance is in here.
Yeah,
people like Retrance. Ludicrous. Oh, I want Ludicrous Speed.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
I want Ludicrous Speed. Yeah, that's a gooder. Let's hope you draw it out of the hat. Oh, you're the town drunk. That's a great job. Family Guy reference. All right, I've got it. It's this one here. Oh shit, I dropped it. Fuck. Okay, got it. I got it back. It's this one here. And it is... Oh, shit. It's open. It's open plus. You guys get 2 Pseudo Boots races this year. 2 of them. And just to show you I'm not fucking with you, like there's Potpourri, there's Reduced Crystals, there's Champion's Hot. I didn't cheat. I didn't cheat. There's Open Keys. It is in there. So I did not cheat. They're all in there. There's the hat. You see them all. So, all right. So let's review. We got Ambrosia, Inverted Keys, MC Shuffle, SGL Casual Boots, AD Keys, and Open Plus. Honestly, that's not too bad.
Yeah, I'm not too unhappy about that. There's a few not so great ones in there, but most of them are pretty good.
Yeah, that's not bad. So, I mean, you think of it this way. We have 1 inverted mode. We have 2 basic modes. Actually, we have 3 basic modes. Ambrosia, SGL Casual Boots, and Open Plus. So we have 2 standard seeds. We have 2 of them with starting boots. We have an AD key seed. We have an MC. That's not bad. It ain't bad.
Yeah,
nothing crazy, but it ain't bad. So, all right, boys and girls, we'll post that again here in a bit when we set this up. But so those are our 6. All right, that was fun. I enjoyed that. Oh, I got to turn the camera off. That's embarrassing. the hat remains.
Taking over.
Oh my god, the hat is taking over. The hat was sponsored by Administrator Bob. Administrator Bob is sleeping again. We will not see him again until probably November.
Yeah, it'll be a little while.
It'll be a while before we see that. So, well, now's the time where people are going to tune out and they're going to leave. But if you had a question you want to toss into chat, now's the perfect time to do it. Let's talk about mystery. So, yes. So mystery is working better. We're getting close. We made some changes last season, and I feel like this season turned out better than the first season under this new system. And I was watching, and I ran numbers on the modes that were picked, and I noticed some bad trends, and then I did some investigations in the algorithm, and I found out why. So there were a few flaws in the system based upon what we set up for the weights that were causing some imbalances. And I almost said, screw it, we're going to go back to the old system, until I came up with a better method of balancing. And after doing that, and then I ran, Jesus, how many did I run? I ran 10,000 seeds maybe 30 times. And every single time I imported it into spreadsheets, and I looked at the flow as it went when I tweaked settings and came up with what the weights are going to be now. And I feel like it's so much better because it fixed like 3 of the main issues that I was noticing with these. And if you ran a lot of mystery this season, I don't know if everybody noticed the first one we're going to talk about, but I know they saw the second 2. And if they saw the first one, they probably didn't say anything so that it wouldn't get fixed because it was a benefit to everybody else. Number 1, boots. You guys are welcome. If you hadn't noticed, there was a flaw in the system. If it was a non-entrance seed, you got boots, guaranteed boots every single time instead of 50%. And I noticed it quick because I started pulling numbers early and I saw it and I'm like, fuck it. You guys can keep it for the season. So yes, every non-entrance seed had starting boots. We're taking that away. We are taking that away. It is fixed now. It is 50. It was just a logical fix in the way that the weights were set up. Just give me a break. All right. So yes, that it has been fixed going forward. That will be fixed in the next season. 2 balancing issues. The way the balancing system works. Very, very briefly, the way the balancing system works is we choose all the modes, we check the mystery points, and as long as we're not 0, we rerun permutations of taking a mode out and replacing it with another, or a flag out and replacing it with another flag. And we repeat that process with certain flags until we came up with 0. Because of that, and the way that some of the weights were in there, 2 things happened. 1, Triforce Hunt was picked way too much. It was like, I think it was 43% or something like that is what we were at with Triforce Hunt when I looked at this. And yesterday there were 2 more. So it's around that 40% range. I think we were at 43. It is just being picked way, way, way too much. That has been changed. And it's been fixed, and you'll see why, and it's been dropped down. We've made 2 changes to this to fix that problem. Also, Assured Sword was being picked, I think, 70 to 80% of the time. Something ridiculous. And that's because we put in certain rules of when an Assured Sword would always show up. And it dealt with Atomizer settings. And we have changed that, so now it shows up way less as well. Now it's more like 30% for Assured Sword. So we'll go over that. A lot of it deals with the weights. So here's the base changes. We changed the starting points from 150 to 140 for non-entrance from 80 to 100. And then we also added 10 points to the variance. So what that means is that for non-entrance, you could start anywhere between 130 to 160. And this gets around the whole, I'm going to figure out what modes are what, because I have nothing better to do with my life. It also puts the entrance modes, gives them a little bit more variance. We noticed a lot of entrances were almost the same every single time. And that's just because we didn't have enough points in the pool to create the variance. So that got raised a little bit. That means entrances are going to be slightly more difficult. The non-entrances, you really shouldn't notice a difference, except for the balancing change that we made. So these are the balancing changes that we made. We got rid of a lot of the zeros. There are still some zeros in the pool, but they deal with more of the secondary modes than the primary modes. So we've raised the point values for some of the modes. You'll notice Triforce Hunt went to 40. And it's not because it's a difficulty thing, but I do want to make that mode a little bit less available. Even though the point value is supposed to represent difficulty. We also increased the difficulty of Triforce Hunt. We'll get to that in a second. But most of these, we just put 10 points in there. And that keeps them more pretty balanced. Triforce Hunt's the only exception to this rule. So nothing really to see here. We just added 10 to a lot of values. Got rid of a lot of the zeros. Because what was happening is we would get... When a mode balances, if it's a minus, that means we need to find a value that is less than what was picked before. So if it was a pedestal seed at 10, it's always, if that mode comes up, it's always going to pick a 0, which means Ganon and Fast Ganon was coming up way too much. The other way around, if it's a plus, the way it works is we choose a mode, and then we choose a new mode or flag, then we choose a new mode for that flag. And if it's less than, we ignore it. So the zeros unbalance that because you can't have anything less than that. There's a lot of technical jargon involved in that. A lot of that has been fixed. I changed the method of balancing a little bit so that happens less as well. So, made a couple of tweaks to the general stuff. Triforce Hunt was 20 to 40. Now it's 30 to 40. It's going to make these seeds a little bit longer because we did have a few Triforce Hunt beatables, which are generally pretty short. And we had mystery seeds that were ending 30 minutes in, and we don't want that. So we raised that up a little bit to 30 to 40. Max starting items got raised from 2 to 3. It's going to give you guys a little bit more starting item variety, just basic shit. Just going to give you a little bit more. Health pool. This is a big one because this applied only to entrance seeds. But when we were health pool easy has a minus value. It's the only one that has a minus value because it makes the seed easier. So it was going previously from an 80 to 100. And in doing so, it made the hard categories come up way too often. And this is when you were doing the too many seeds were identical. So we removed easy from entrance categories. You will not get it. Again, it just caused too many issues. Still going to be in there for the non-entrance. The Assured Sword, what we changed is previously you would have an Assured Sword with, what was it, enemy health, anything other than normal, or anything with enemy shuffle. We changed that to only be standard enemy shuffle now. Happens so much less now. Because we don't want you to go through the escape without a sword. It's a pain in the ass, and it does cause some semi-unbeatable scenarios. So we're still going to give you an assured sword with that, but we're taking away from everything else. It's going to make things a little bit harder for swordless seeds. Entrance, we're going to give you pseudo boots. We can't give you regular boots. It's not an option with the main branch. So we're going to give you pseudo boots instead of regular boots for 50% of the time. Should speed those up a little bit. And then one hit knockout. It only happened a couple of times, and we're just going to remove it. Screw it. It's gone. It's just gone. Screw it. So it doesn't come up enough to make a difference. And it's got its own branch of logic, and it's just not worth it. So I will say this. I ran a ton of permutations with these, and I think it's going to make Mystery a much more enjoyable. It's going to make things slightly harder. But it's also going to be less stupid beatable seeds. I almost consider taking beatable out of the equation, but decided against it. And there's still a few flags we can still do with this mode. We can still tweak things a bit more. We'll see how it goes for next season. So, Herfy, I know I spoke a lot because you don't have a lot to say about this. Oh,
sorry, I fell asleep.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, man.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's you don't have a lot to say about Mystery. I don't even run these by anymore because there's not a lot. You don't have a lot of input on these, so it's all a balancing act. I do think this is going to make Entrance much more enjoyable, and I think we're very close to where I want Entrance. I want Mystery to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, be a good time to join it. Join some Mystery if you're interested. If you haven't done it before, I noticed, attendance on Mystery is down a bit, but I think it has a lot to do with Rando as a whole right now. People are really burned out because of the main tournament. People are getting eliminated from brackets, myself included. I am now mostly retired. Thank you very much. And yeah, people are seeing some burnout. Hopefully the new season will get everybody back up to speed. So, ladies and gentlemen, season begins on June 27th. If you have some questions that you want to throw in the chat, now's the time to do it. Do it now, because I got a couple things to go over real quick. Number one, we have an extra day in between the start of the season 18 and 19. Usually we do a half a day and a full day, and that is to do site maintenance, set up new stuff in the bot, and a bunch of other things. I've already done all of that. Already done for the next season. I did it in advance. We have to take an extra day off because I need to update the Discord backend for Lazy Kid. It's something I've been dreading for a while, and I need the extra day to do it because I'm going to implement the new version 14 libraries. We have everybody knows about the nickname change that is coming to Discord. Some of you probably have already had it happen to you. And it's coming. I don't know what that's going to do to the ladder. So I'm going to be a little preemptive, and I'm going to try to get everything up to date with the new functionality installed. And then when that change is fully in effect for everybody, we'll have to change some things. And it only affects one thing. Well, technically two, but really it only affects the streams channel in the Discord when we have to retrieve streams. Because we do that with the discriminator tag, which is the #, blah, blah, blah. So once that is fully in, we need to start making changes so that Lazy Kid can recognize that. Number two, I don't know what's going to happen when people start joining races with the discriminator tag removed, because we track that discriminator tag. So I need to put these new libraries in place that has the functionality to manage that. So there's an extra day off. So it's almost 3 full days because the last race is on a Saturday. It's like 1 a.m. or something like that. And then we don't start again until the 27th, which is a Tuesday. It's going to give me, it's going to give me time to pull everything down, test the shit out of this, and then make sure that when we come back up, we're going to have minimal downtime. So, needs to be done. I don't want to do it. Needs to be done. So
yeah, it happens. Hopefully, this is going to be the only big thing for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my hope. But we'll see what happens. So yeah, questions. We have one question that came in. When can we expect some patron party practice seeds? Right now. I just put the channel live. I made these seeds a couple of days ago. You'll notice practice seeds is currently live in the Discord. There are 5 patron party seeds, 5 Hundo Key Sanity seeds. Enjoy them. I have to update the definitions for that stuff. I'll do it here in a couple of minutes. So yeah, they're ready to go. I will say I have not practiced any of these. I did a quick run through, but I have not gone through in detail. Hopefully I didn't screw them up, but I also, yeah, I can't promise anything. There might be a screw up, and if there is, report them. I'll regenerate new seeds and all that jazz. So yeah. So those are up and running. What about the other questions? Any other questions? What about the 100% locations? We're probably not going to change that now. I don't have anything against it. This is the 100% locations, which is interesting because we have a 100% locations mode in this season. I don't have anything against it, but I think I want to wait. Herfy, what do you think about this one? You understand what the discussion is, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do you think about this one?
I think I'm kind of with you on that, in that I don't have anything against it really, but I think I want to wait it out a little longer and see, kind of how it turns out before we over adjust and then figure out, well, maybe that wasn't such a great idea after all. Yeah,
my concern about this is that I like to keep things standardized. As it is, we don't have this is a great example of this was just recently this last season with the main tournament and us doing grab bag based off of the main tournament. We don't talk to each other. The different communities really don't talk to each other, and that's more of a us thing than anybody else. We probably should do a better job of this, but we also don't need to. So it's kind of weird where we don't communicate very well. So I know the discussion came up in the main Discord. Let's put it this way. If it becomes standard, we will probably make the change. But if it doesn't become standard, we probably won't. I'm indifferent on this one. It doesn't really cause any issues. It does. You lose a little bit and very little bit of logic reading by doing this, but it's not major. It is there. I mean, there's definitely some bits and pieces that you would lose out on by this, but it's small enough that it's probably not a big deal. So, yeah, I think this is one that if it becomes standard, we'll probably just do it. And if it doesn't, we just won't. So yeah, I think that's probably the way we're going to go with this one. So, yeah. Anybody else got any questions before we're actually going a little bit late. We usually lock these things up in 30 minutes, and we're a bit lengthy today. But I'm actually doing some updates here to the Discord here. So ping requests are now live. You can add your ping requests, and you can get those for the new modes. All that is live as well. I just want to make sure I got them right. Yes, I did. Okay, good. Because I had him misnamed here for a bit. So yeah, I'll post the announcement in the announcements here soon, and schedule's posted now. We'll be posting that to the Google Calendar here, probably 10 minutes. Give me a little bit of time to get that ready. And everything else is good to go. Again, your practice seeds are ready to go. Have fun with them. Report any issues, please, because I'd be shocked if there wasn't at least one issue. I posted Hundo Key Sanity seeds in there, even though they're just basically just all locations ADs key seeds. But if you want to try it out, it's 100% locations. So try it out. Have fun.
Yeah, you'll have to police yourself. Of course, you can finish it with 170 probably or whatever.
Exactly.
That's kind of not the point.
That's not the point. It's because it is a 100% locations. That's the only flag that is live on there that we really care about. And hopefully the devs make sure there's no bugs in it. I have faith that there's no bugs in it. So, awesome. All right, well, I'm going to finish my bottle of wine and chill for the day, I think. You know what I'm going to do? I've been talking about this. I haven't been playing.
Happening?
I haven't been playing Zelda. I haven't been playing Tears of the Kingdom. I haven't played it in a week because I've been so fucking busy with stuff.
Well, time to get back.
Oh my god! I finally get to play the game. I'm like only like 6 hours in.
Oh yeah, you've got a lot of games.
So much to do. I've been so busy with shit. I'm gonna play some Zelda today.
Yeah, sounds great.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you as always. Again, we'll have the formal announcements posted here soon, and I think everything else is already live. So. Hope you guys enjoy the new season. If you have any questions, feedback, please post so in the Discord. I'm going to step out. Herfy, bring us home.
Yeah, guys, as Duncan said, we hope you enjoy the new modes. Don't blame us for the Patreon one. You can blame us for the 100% location K-Sign81, I guess, but we'll see how it goes. Enjoy the practice seats, and we hope you have a great rest of your weekend.